asking people how they're doing and start asking people how they're feeling.
So I gotta make sure I'm watching the news.
God will never waste pain that's offered to him. Nothing is ever wasted.
Everybody that I gotta play the week gon' be straight. And that we tie that red that you won't hit, so you better not be late.
This is a place of development, and I'm not gonna die here. Dang.
Cause I love it, I don't care about the fame.
Yo, welcome to the Young Vagabond podcast, man, where we navigate the journey of life together through truth and love. I'm your co-host, Bryson.
And I am your co-host, DJ.
And it is season 4, episode 1. They thought we were done, but they counted us out. Who? None. That didn't make no sense, but I'm on a run. You feel me?
Yo, that's tough. That's right, man. Man, well, we back, man. Excited to get started. I'm sorry.
It ain't make no sense. I'm finna not make sense again. I'll watch this. So I got the Dewey on because this season we're peeling back layers. Mm-hmm. And you know, as human beings, we're all multifaceted creatures. And I got a knot, but we gonna get it out. Right. You know, take this do-rag off because we taking off the layers and we getting real. I hope I ain't got no do-rag line on my face, do I?
No, bro.
Hey,
you look fresh, though,
hey,
bro.
That's what I'm
you look
talking
fresh,
about.
Though, with the braids, bro. I didn't even realize, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm AI with the braids. I'm AI with the braids. Oh, shoot, man. Well, that's good. That's great, man. Well, here we are. Excited to get started. Excited to just begin this new season, man. Got him, AI with the braids, man. He looked fresh. He looked so fresh, so clean. You know, shout out to Outkast, the homies for real.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yep, all that, man. Well, hey, man, here we are. Excited to get started, man. Of course, we're going to start off reminding all of y'all to please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any platforms. Make sure you follow, man. We really appreciate it. It helps us grow, and it's helpful for y'all, man. Y'all get to know when the next thing is coming out. Also, if y'all want to help us out, support to college students, you know, as we continue to use our giftings and our creativity to just push a good message and, you know, help people love other people and love God, man. We ask that, hey, man, if you're feeling generous, man, donate to the pod, man. Shoot, man, because we trying to still keep it going and do things, man. And of course, man, to everyone who has given and has subscribed, man, we appreciate all the giver bonds, all the subscriber bonds,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
all
sir.
the other bonds, man. We appreciate y'all, man. And then, of course, man, go to the link tree, follow the Instagram, and follow the TikTok, man. Follow all that, man.
Follow it everywhere.
Exactly, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all, man, for rocking with us. Mm-hmm. Man, we're ready to begin a new season, man. And just, yeah, man, we excited, bro. Appreciate all the sweet messages, man. All the how we've been able to impact people, man. And that encourages us to keep going, man. And so here we are, man. We got another season, man. We're excited, you know.
We back.
We back, man. We're going to have some new guests, some old returning guests, you know. Just do things, man. Keep it fresh for y'all, man. You know, this summer was crazy for me, man. So, like, good podcast content, man. I can't wait to unpack it with all y'all, man. So we're going to get into it. But before we do that, of course, you probably, if y'all follow us on Instagram or TikTok or other platforms, y'all probably already saw this announcement. But Young Vagabond is in a season of transition as we had our just amazing, wonderful partner, Travis. He felt the Lord calling him to relocate. And so... he is no longer a active member of the team. Still is contributing here and there when he can, but is no longer active member. And so right now it's just me and Bryson rocking it out solo or duo. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it fresh for y'all. And so that's why you're seeing these episodes maybe posted a little bit later than when we normally start the season. But just know we are back, y'all. We are ready for y'all, man. And we going to keep it pushing, man. We going to keep it fresh, man. We got a lot of content for y'all. So, man, don't worry. We still here. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, we just going to be rolling it. So, hey, we back. Bryson, you know how it goes.
I gotta ask my favorite question.
The question that has to be asked every single episode since season 2. We got started off with what has been your favorite conversation of the week.
Okay.
Let me know.
So I'm gonna try to be a master storyteller when I say this joint.
Hit me.
So let's paint the picture, right?
All right.
So I'm going out of my room. Shout out where I stay.
Shout out to the location.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm going out of my room.
No doxing.
And I'm getting into my truck, going to do some community service. I hit
Community man.
Indeed. I put the freaking key in the ignition. Truck don't crank up. So I'm like, oh man, what's going on here, brother? So I called my mom. My mom was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Call your dad. So shout out Pops. Call my dad.
Shout out dads.
My dad was like, it may be your starter or it may be just a dead battery. So long story short, parking services. Shout out parking services.
Shout out to the parking services people.
They come and boost me off. And as they boost me off, I get back in my truck. And I go off campus and my dad tells me, he said, son, go get you a new battery. I'll pay for it.
Yes.
So I go to O'Reilly.
Okay.
O'Reilly, they couldn't get me situated. So I had to go to AutoZone and I made a wrong turn. So I ended up at Advanced Auto Parts. I was a little sad. I'm like, gosh darn. So then I get out of that parking lot and I end at AutoZone, man. And this is where the favorite conversation comes in. This man named Montel Hood, he opened up my hood and he put my battery in. And he was a firm believer in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Man.
Hallelujah.
Hey, bro, and it was really a really dope conversation. He's from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he ended up here.
Pistons.
Yeah. He ended up here because he went to JUCO in Texas on a track and field
Shout out
scholarship.
Texas.
Shout out Texas. And then he came here to run track at State. He graduated in 21. Yeah, it was a pretty dope conversation. It was like kind of just a surreal moment because I was like mad irritated at the fact that I was like, going around. I was hot, sweaty. Right. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out what's going on with my truck. But everything got situated, and then I even got a very good conversation out of all the mess. So I couldn't complain, bro. It was just like a moment where like even though there was chaos going around, it was like, okay, God, I see you.
Kind of like an anchoring moment.
Yeah. So it was dope. And I got a new friend. So
Dude, that's what's up, man. And a new battery. Shout out batteries.
A new battery.
Shout out car batteries, man. That's good. I had to buy a car battery last December, so shout out.
Yeah, them just be expensive.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, my wallet knows. But hey, we here, man. No, that's good, man. Let's see. For me.
Oh, can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you always got to ask this question. What was your favorite conversation of the week, DJ?
Yeah, man. I guess it was kind of a group conversation, but I know one that's really memorable. I guess there's two. I guess this one I'll go with. It was I was with my homie Chris Walker and another delegate Todd, and we were just basically talking about like just how. Really talking about the character of God and like just some of the things that how God has worked in each of our individual lives. So getting to share about just kind of our testimonies, getting to share about like the things that we love about God and our favorite Bible verses. And so it was a really cool conversation because we because of delegates we know each other professionally, but a lot of times that can kind of be where the relationship stops.
You got to peel back the layer.
Yeah, you got to, just like the dude. Yeah, that's right, Bryson.
I told you, bro. I told you, I'm too tapped in.
Yeah,
bro.
You really are, bro. He already knew what I was going to say before I said it. So that's why he did the whole do-rag. Yeah. No, that's good. But no, it was a dope conversation, getting to know both of them better. And just hear their hearts, man. And, we do a lot together because we are in the same organization, but getting to know each other on that deeper level, that was really cool, and really enjoyed that conversation. And so very life-giving, very encouraging, and helped prep me to do this podcast episode because it allowed me to kind of collect my thoughts, right? And so that now when it comes time to tell the summer story, it'll be nice and juicy. But we'll get there here in a second. But yeah, man, that was my conversation of the week. But hey, speaking of summer, man, how did summer go for you, man?
Summer was a blessing.
Yeah.
It's definitely had its high points and low points. Right. Definitely dealt with a lot of issues of the heart, because I felt like before the summer even started, I felt like the Lord kind of put these two words on my heart, which was healing and discipline. And I felt like, the discipline came in, me prioritizing my devotion to God and me prioritizing my quiet time and things of that nature. But the healing, bro, like that hit, because like he was peeling back and revealing things that I haven't really given over to him, things that I haven't allowed to heal, things that I haven't even acknowledged that were being brought back up. And what's crazy is, like, I'm such a solution-focused guy.
Yeah.
That, like, once I see a problem, I'm ready to get that junk solved, like, ASAP. So I'm in the mindset of, this is just going to be like a 2-month thing. This is going to be a summer thing.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like a continual process. And I think it's kind of like how Paul talks about the work being done to the day of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like I'm probably going to be in a mode of healing and discipline probably for the rest of my days.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, it's bittersweet, but I'm grateful for it, because like I said, God is revealing things that I know I needed to be situated and dealt with in my heart. Yeah. And I know he's a slow cooker, so I've been learning to trust him through the process, be more vulnerable with him and be honest with him through the process. But like, that was a whole ordeal. But summer itself was just like an amazing thing. Was able to intern back in my home church. Dude, shout out Hosanna. Shout out freaking my youth pastor, Miss Hillary. She's so dope.
Hill dog.
Yeah, she even she blessed me in so many ways, bro. Like, paid for my lunch numerous times. Made sure the kid never went without any like money, all of that. Like, shout out Miss Hill, bro. Right. She's her for real. But and then Brother D, which is the head pastor of our church. Yeah. That man's so cool, so chill. Like, me being in staff meetings, I learned so much stuff, especially like leadership stuff, because we watched a bunch of like Craig Groeschel stuff, and we had like printouts, curriculum that we went over and all of that. So it was just a dope experience. Yeah. And then just like the third layer of that, being able to spend time with my family, and that was truly a blessing, because like, next summer I may be in grad school, so I don't know what my next summer will look like, but being able to really just cherish where I was, because I am going into my senior year of college. Well, we here now, but but
you are in your senior level.
Yeah, I'm in my senior year of college, which is crazy work. But yeah, man. So it was a beautiful summer. It was many different layers to it, many different things that God was doing, and he's just so faithful. That's something that I really like honed in and learned this summer, was God is faithful, and I can trust him, and he's a slow cooker, so I just gotta let him season and let him do his thing.
Yeah, what is kind of like unpack like what that looks like? I don't know. This is kind of a hard question to answer, but kind of like you talking about like going through healing and going through discipline. Like, is there like a moment that you can kind of point to? Because I know like for a lot of people that journey, because it's so kind of ambiguous, it's like kind of hard to like, what does that look like? And then also kind of how do you like, because you say it is continuous, and that's something I agree with, but how do you stay encouraged? Because it's like, are you working towards a goal that's unattainable, or like, what are the kind of those moments where it's like, I see that I've made progress? Or did you have a moment like that during the summer? It's kind of a hard question, but
it's a hard question. It's a good question. Yeah, it's a good question. During the summer,
or just any time,
just any time. I know for sure today my quiet time was very much needed. It was very much needed, because like, shout out FCA. I was gonna go do the prayer walk that they did for the athletics this morning, but I kind of listened to Verge, because Verge was like, bro, I'm finna rest. And I thought about it, I was like, bro, I really been doing a lot, so maybe I do need to cut something out. Yeah. So I just took some time and I watched a pod, which that joint was hilarious. But I watched, it was freaking Nick Cannon, Kirk Franklin, and Lecrae.
Oh, I'm already knowing.
So, I watched that. And then, what's the name, bro? I read my word, bro, and just like had a real honest, quiet time with the Lord. And this morning, I would definitely say it was one of those moments where it was like, okay, like this healing thing is happening for real. Because I wrote in my journal, I was like, just writing out these things that I feel like God has been pointing out in me in my heart. Yeah. And I told him like straight up, like, God, I need your help because I don't have any more solutions. And it's like, I definitely think today was one of those moments where it's like, I just give it all up. Yeah. Because like in my brain, you know, Verge likes to call it the engineer brain sees a problem, find a solution. Right. Shout out my pops for the engineering. But
shout out engineers.
Yeah, I should have been one. Nah, that's cap. Y'all got it. I can't deal with the calculus. But what's your name, bro? Like, sometimes I get so solution focused that I try to, for lack of better terms, or maybe it's just the true terms, I guess I try to like will a solution sometimes. And like, you know, I told God straight up, I was like, bro, I don't know what verse to go to. I don't know like what prayer to pray, what song to listen to, all of these things. Because like I've done that before in the past, but like there's nothing wrong with those things. But in my case, it was more so like Band-Aids. Because I was doing it in my own strength, and it wasn't really allowing God to get to the root and dig deep into my heart how he's been doing lately. So I would definitely say like this morning was a moment where I was like, okay, like I have no more solutions, God. Like it's all in your court. Yeah. And I'm just trusting you along the process.
Amen.
I hope that answers your question.
No, that's good. I think even just using that concept of a Band-Aid, I think Band-Aids are helpful when the wound has been cleaned, you know.
Gosh.
Like Band-Aids are helpful when the wound has been cleaned, but if you try to Band-Aid over an infected wound, your wound will only get worse, right? The problem may feel, you know, outside looking in. Yeah. Oh, the Band-Aid's covering up the wound. It, you know, it's probably cooking under there like it's getting better. But the part of the healing process is the washing out of old, you know, of things that are toxic, right, within you. And it stings. I mean, I don't know. I remember being a kid and maybe skinning my knee or doing whatever. My mom, she pulled out the peroxide, which hurts a lot less than, but it still hurts because they, you know, back in the 70s, they did alcohol, bro. So I couldn't even imagine. But that peroxide still stings a bit, right? And when it pours, it feels real uncomfortable, right? But we know that discomfort is so much more worth it than the after effects of leaving a wound affected or infected. And if you just Band-Aid over that wound that's not clean, it's only going to kill you more and more from the inside, right? Where from an outside standpoint, man, it's straight, right? It's covered. But in the inside, it's still doing things, right? And I think a lot of times, especially when we are people who are of faith or believers, right, we try and kind of put that spiritual Band-Aid over a situation, right, where it's like, okay, well, you know, let me just say this verse or like post this verse or write down, read this, right, or do this, you know, read this devotional, right? And it's like, well, what is the heart? Are you dealing with the heart issue, right? Because you may be like, yeah, I'm as a Christian, I know I'm supposed to forgive, right? But if you're harboring bitterness within your heart, you can say, yeah, I forgive, or you can read all the verses about forgiveness you want. But if that heart isn't switched, right, all it's going to do is eat you up from the inside. And in fact, it's more deceptive than, because at least if you don't have a Band-Aid over an infected wound, at least everybody can see and they can tell you, oh, yo, bro, that's infected. Like you need to do something about that. And you can see, but when you cover it up, right, nobody knows, right? And you can kind of fake it. But there's going to come to a point where you're going to be so sick where you're just going to collapse, right? And we have a moment, a lot of people have moments like that where they've let their heart basically be the toxic, be their poison, right? And they're like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I acting this way? It's because you never cleaned out that wound. You just put a Band-Aid over it. And so, no, I think that's really powerful, just what you're talking about. And just even being able to say, like, Lord, I don't know the solution. I don't have the peroxide. Because we can do some of the work, right? But if we don't allow the Lord, you know, we don't invite the Lord into that transformation process, all we're doing is just self-help techniques, right? But there's going to come a point where you can be exhausted, right? That's not sustaining anymore, right? You just like, I don't feel like doing this, right? You're not going to do it, right? And if it's all dependent on you, right, to wash out the wound, you're going to miss some things, right? Because when I was a kid, I didn't do the peroxide myself. My mom did, right? She helped me because she knew what was going on. She knew the right techniques, all of that, right? We got a father who's ready to help us, right? Who knows all the techniques, knows the things that, hey, maybe we're not even seeing right now, right? Maybe the bit, like, you're not really upset that your friend, you know, canceled on you for going to movies. You upset because, you know, your dad never showed up to a game, right? That he said he was going to come up to. I don't know what that looks like for you, right? But but there's bitterness is usually tied to a deeper bitterness. You're not really all that pressed about that, but what you are pressed about is what it reminds you of the feeling you used to have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we have to allow the Lord to show that light on those situations, right? So that we can stop those wounds from infecting us and tearing us apart, right? And killing us, you know what I'm saying? So no, that's really powerful. I'm gonna take
and like just adding on to what you said about like someone else had to help you, right? Your mom had to pour the peroxide. It kind of reminds me of like this passage of scripture where the lame man got let through the roof by his friends. Like his friend's faith is what got him healed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, and shout out Pastor Josiah, but he allowed us young adults to preach on it this summer at Vibrant. And one thing that I was able to talk about within the scripture is that like some of us aren't like the lame man, because the lame man, you could obviously tell he was physically like hurt. He was physically like, for lack of better terms, in a bad position, right? Yeah. Right. And some of us, we can hide those things. We can hide our anxieties. We can hide the depression. We can hide these insecurities. But we have to be vulnerable enough, because at the end of the day, we can only go so far ourselves. Just like that lame man, he could only like do so much himself. Yeah. He couldn't get himself through that roof. His friends had to do that for him. So like, I think there is value in being vulnerable with people about like, hey, and being vulnerable with God. Like, hey, I'm struggling. I don't have the solutions. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this hole, and I know I need help. Yeah. I don't know what that looks like, but I just know I need help. Yeah. I think there's value in like letting people know that you need help, letting God know that you need help, because that lets you know that I no longer have to control this situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, of course, we play a part in, showing up. Right. But if all we have to do is show up and then like let everybody else help us bear that weight and help take care of us, I feel like that's a lot better load than waking up, showing up with the weight of the world on your shoulders each and every day. Yeah. And as opposed to releasing and relinquishing that weight and showing up and allowing others to help you deal with that burden. Yeah. Amen.
Whew, man. That's good, bro.
I try.
No, that's good. And I think I think it's important to encourage people that there is no shame in not knowing the answer, right? Because if we had all the answers, then we wouldn't need people, right? But we need each other and we need the Lord because we don't have all the answers, right? So there's no shame in not knowing, right? And like saying, hey, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I just need help, And from there, someone that can help, and someone that can be there for you to be like, hey, have you thought about this, right? Or have you unpacked this, right? Let's talk about this together. Maybe you are taking on too much. Let me help you with that. Like those kinds of things. That's why we need each other, right? Real. And that's why community is so important, right? And if you want to know about community, watch the first season, episode 5 of the podcast. But no, and I think even talking about community, I think that kind of goes into my summer.
Yes, tell us about it, please, Brother Darian.
Great content, for the summer, right? Fantastic content. No, the summer was good, man. I mean, we had some downs for sure, but we had some ups, and I think it's cool to start with the ups because we'll spend a lot of time talking about the downs and what it taught. I was taught through it, but I went to Hawaii, which awesome experience.
Did you get the tribal tat?
I did not get a tribal tat, as that would be cultural appropriation. But
I apologize, guys. I really want one,
hey,
bro.
You look like you could pass the Samoan, man. So you could maybe.
But I'm
get
saying,
tat,
I know I want to do it the right way. Bro. I want to get like grafted into somebody's family.
Yeah,
you know
and then if you do that, then that's what then
I
you
ain't
can
just
go.
gonna do that junk because I talked to somebody back home about it. They was like, bro, if you do something like that and then you get pressed by the wrong person, what you gonna do then?
Exactly. And them dudes are huge, bro.
Yes, bro.
So I'm not trying to piss off a Samoan man. I can't do it, bro. I'm too small for that. Anyways, so no, but hey, it was cool. The culture is awesome. There's all Polynesian cultures. We went to Polynesian Cultural Center. That was cool. My parents got their vows rededicated. me and my sister got to be a part of that ceremony, and that was awesome. Celebrated 20 years of marriage.
2 decades.
Yeah, couple goals for real.
A dub.
A dub. Yeah. Man, we keeping it fresh, man, and loved that. That was dope. Beaches are also awesome. Love, it's so pretty over there.
Yeah.
We went to mountains. One of my homies, he goes to school there. Shout out Landon, the homie for real. And so he was also giving us some just locations and spots to go to. And so, overall, wonderful. Made some money, can't complain. Got to help start a podcast. This woman's podcast, close friend of our family, and her name's Miss Yvonne. And she started the Dash podcast, so y'all go check that out. To where I actually am on one of the episodes. I'm not sure when that episode will come out, but I am on one of the episodes. But I also produced the podcast, made all the branding for it. Yeah, and did the song, did basically what we did for this podcast, but for that podcast, and she hired me out to do that. So that was a blessing to get to be a part of that.
We finna send you Tim Ross way. No cap.
If I can get that Tim Ross job, bro, I'm not gonna be in college anymore. Let's just say that.
And you'll be back in Texas.
Yeah, I'll be great. I'll be great. I'll be doing all right. No, but got to do that. Got into photography. So hey, hit me up if y'all need photos taken. Did my first wedding. Did some portrait photography, some stuff like that. So overall, got that, and then also took, which I guess is kind of up and down, took a summer chemistry class. And man, let me tell y'all, man, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for real. Like I don't know what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like before I was like, man, this gonna be easy, right? And part of it was pride, because I go to a university, a major university. So I'm thinking community college, like it's gonna be light work, right? It's not gonna don't let community college fool you, bruh. I got a whole new level of respect for community, because that was hard. That was so hard. That was one of the hardest things I've done in my life. It was that hard, man. It was a month long, so it was the entirety of a semester's worth of chemistry compacted into 1 month, and also the lab I had to do was 40 minutes away. But hey, met some people. Shout out Diana. Shout out Princess. They will never see this because that's the last time I saw both of them was at the lab. But hey, shout out both of them. Shout out y'all for being great.
Was Diana and Princess.
Yeah, lab
there
partners.
Was a Princess Diana.
Hey, shout out them. Maybe that's her. Maybe that's like fusion. Like Goku.
Fact check myself.
Yeah, there is a Princess Diana. She died. She got assassinated. Well,
oh Lord,
she didn't get assassinated, but there's a whole conspiracy that she got assassinated. But yeah, she did. Shout out R.I.P. to a real
she was
homie.
The Princess of Wales.
Yeah, she did though. So yeah, it's actually pretty interesting. You should look into it because she was like a celebrity. Everybody loved Princess Diana. But anyways, say that to say.
Yeah, man. Woo.
Yeah, shout out her for real. But yeah, so that was cool. But overall, it was a blessing. And now I got a chemistry credit. Don't got to take it at Mississippi State.
I heard that junk trash.
Yeah, with the booty cheeks and I got a B, so it is what it is. But
hey, bro, I heard the way they be cracking. Folks be aiming for like 54s on the test.
Yeah, that's
bro.
true. So I'm glad I ain't got to do that. So, and it's over with. I ain't got to worry about it anymore. I just get straight to my major. So anyways, yeah, all that to say, that was a good summer overall, but homie was a little depressed, during the summer. And I think it really stemmed from nothing that happened during the summer as much as things that happened before. And so it kind of gave y'all into a window. I was supposed to study abroad, ended up not being able to study abroad. I tried to get an internship, couldn't get an internship. There were a couple of things like romantically that were mishaps.
Y'all stop sleeping on DJ, man. I don't know how many times I got to tell y'all, bro. My whole dialogue done changed. Bro, stop sleeping on that man, bro. God, dog, man.
Nah,
bro, hold up. Because I'm sick of it. This man works his tail off, right? A straight A student, forget the B in chemistry, we don't let that slide. But a straight A student, he's a freaking producer of a podcast. He's a podcaster himself. Come on. He's a cybersecurity major. He's from the greatest country in the world, Texas. What else? What else does he do? He works out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he loves the Lord. He has a lot of hair, got a nice smile. Like, come on, bro. He got a job. Come on, bro.
Hey, man. Hey,
I'm all for it, bro.
Yeah, wherever she at, she coming. I know she gonna be great.
Man, they tripping.
Hey, yeah. So couple romantic mishaps. But hey, we good. We making it. And top it all off. My job, my old summer job that I was gonna go back to, got shut down by Human Services because of negligence. So that was that was pretty crazy. It was a camp, but shout out that camp. But anyways, to say, yeah, it got shut down, and so that was kind of like. It was funny, right? But it's kind of like, okay, well, now I don't got a job. So I come home, I ain't got a job, I ain't got a girl, I ain't got a whole lot going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, by this point, you know, you've been away for a long time, so you're not as close to the people that you used to be back at home. I mean, of course, I got like two of my best friends. I actually got to get a lot back closer to a lot of my friends from high school over the summer because I did have a lot of time. But sad to say, I kind of come home and I'm just kind of like, you know, man, this sucks, you know? And I think even seeing the way that some of my other people I know were thriving, it kind of, you start to go like, well, what's wrong with me? You know, what am I doing wrong that everyone's doing right? And then especially when you come off kind of a high horse season of life that my freshman year was, of just, man, everything is great. I'm getting everything, every organization, every job, it's just all working out. This is the year of DJ, right? And you come off of that, you're like, when you equate success with blessing, then the logical conclusion is that you equate failure with curse, you know? And I definitely felt that way. And I kind of talked about that last season where I felt like I had lost the favor of God, right? And I was just doomed to be miserable, right? And man, June was really hard. It was a hard month. I mean, I think I cried every week. And in that, I think I had to go through the grieving process, right? Because I kind of had been stuck in denial. Because I am a firm believer now that like disappointment is something you have to grieve, right? You can't
grieve the expectation.
Yeah, it's not just like this didn't happen, bounce back, I don't care, right? And if you are of that mindset, the kind of nonchalant attitude, I think you're just pushing down emotions that are gonna blow up later. But that's for a story from another time. But anyways, I think you have to grieve disappointment, and I kind of stayed stuck in the stage one. And because I had just let it kind of all pile up because I'm busy during the school year and I kind of don't think about it, I come home and there's just all this weight kind of hits you because there's nothing, you know, I ain't got a job, I ain't got a whole lot going on. So it's kind of like, I'm just sitting here. And I mean, that was tough, you know? Yeah. And I think every week of the month of June, there was another layer of grief being unpacked, going from denial to anger, right? Because, you know, about a week or so, I'm just, you know, I'm pissed. You know, I'm pissed about everything, you know, being short with my family and all those things because I'm like, why are things this way, right? And that makes me angry. You know, it makes me angry that they are this way. It makes me angry that, you know, this person is in a, you know, relationship and they didn't choose me. That it makes me angry that this person got a job, right? And I couldn't. It makes me angry that the dreams that everyone else is wanting, they're seeing it come to fruition, right? And that made me really just angry, and more angry, less at the world, but more angry at myself that I couldn't make it happen, you know? And I think that it reveals the first lie, and that was that it was on me, right? Because, you know, one of the things I came home, I was very anxious because I was trying to make some money because there's some things, personal projects I've been working on that I want to attain, and so I've been trying to make the money for it. I'm coming home like, man, like I don't see how it's gonna happen, right? Because I ain't got a job, I ain't got nothing lined up. It's just kind of like, what are we gonna do? And I'm freaking out, right? But the only reason I'm freaking out is because I think it's all on me to make it happen, right? Because I watched how God blessed me, you know, a season ago, but then I watched how it felt like God wasn't blessing me. So then now I'm under this impression, well, okay, God's not going to do it, so I got to do it, right? And that's a dangerous place to be at because it's a very anxious place to be at, right? I'm tighter with my money, right? I don't want to be as generous. I don't want to give. I don't want to do anything like that, right? I'm stressed all the time because I'm thinking every time I spend $1, that's one less dollar that I can put down towards this, you know, whatever this thing is, right? I'm thinking all these things, right? And all the while I'm imagining up scenarios that are making me more stressed, when that stress then boils and turns into anger, right? And then that anger is blown up on people I love. And it's like, man, if I had just gotten rid of this lie, right, that is all on me, I'm at peace, you know? And so that was the first lie that I had to start working out of, is that like, it's not all on me, right? It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen, right? There's nothing I can do that's going to make it happen more. And there's nothing I can do that was going to make it happen less. And of course, with that, there's balance there, because it's not like don't do anything, right? Because I think you can postpone, right, and delay, you know, whatever season you're supposed to walk into, right? Like it could be for you to get a college degree, but if you just, well, God gonna make it happen. You know, you're not going to class and you're not taking like you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to put in work, right? And that may prolong or delay when that degree comes. But say that to say, I can't make something that's not in the will of God happen.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't will that to be into being, right? I'm gonna stress myself out trying. And so with that, once I began to understand that truth, that like what is for me, right? I became so much more at peace, right? And I remember it came to this moment where I was eating lunch with a friend, and the waiter came back and was like, "Is this, you know, one ticket?" Or actually, it wasn't. They just brought it back as one ticket, right? And she was like, "Oh no, we can split it, right? Because you know it was just a friendly outing." I was like, "Nah, I got it." You know what I'm saying? And that was. Even though that's minuscule, right? That was a big moment for me because I just had to do something with my car, so I had to spend some money for that, right? And so there was that kind of wanted to put a tight hand. I was like, nah, I just watched how God blessed me to get this wedding gig, right? And make this money. I'm not finna, like, I know now that, like, my father got me, right? Like, I'm good, right? So I'm going to give, you know, with an open hand, right? Because my mom says this, like, when you have your hands open, God can bless you, but you have your hands closed. God can't bless a closed fist, right? Because he can't fit anything in there, right? Your hand's already shut on what you got, right? And I was like, I'm not going to live that, because that's a miserable life to live, right? To be so anxious about everything. And so, you know, that's line number one. And then from there coming and then going into more of a, you know, just a directly depressed state, right? It's just like really, really sad and really, really down, because I'm kind of like, it's hopeless, you know? Right? You know, yes, God is faithful. Yes, God is good, but God is not for me, right? That's the second lie, right? God is, he got everybody else, but like he gave up on me, right? If it's for something I did, I don't know, right? But he gave up on me, and his hand's not on me anymore, right? So yes, I can't make it happen, right? Because I can't go against the will of God, but that just means I'm supposed to sit here and suffer, right? And so that brought me to just really low place, man, like unmotivated, you know, barely want to get out of bed, barely want to do those types of things, and just sad, right? Just because, like, to the point, it's like I find it hard to even sing this worship song right here because I'm just so like hurt, like just in pain right now.
Yeah.
And so I had to work through that lie, man. It's like God is still for me, right? And what circumstantially may not look to be the case does not change the truth, right?
Yeah.
That God is for me, right? And coming to terms with that and crying that out, like, hey, man, this really sucks, right? This is a sucky situation to be in, but that does not mean that God has left, right? He is still here. He is still faithful. And that, like, it's cliche to say this, right? But God works all things to the good of those called according to his purpose, right? So if it's not good, it's not done, right? And I think that, like, they used to make me go, ugh, like, okay, you know? But, like, it's really, really the truth, man, that, like, if it's not finished, right? I mean, if it's not good, then it's not finished.
Yeah.
And if it's not finished, that means there's hope to keep pressing on, right? And so you are going to be disappointed. That's just how life goes, right? And I think I was equating that, like, it's impossible to, like, that it's impossible to hope and without being disappointed as a bad thing, right? Like,
Hold on, running back.
I was equating that, like, hoping and with the risk of being disappointed was a bad thing, right? I was trying to figure out if there was a way where I could have hope without ever being disappointed, right? And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's possible, right? There's always going to be a risk of disappointment, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, right, what you think is the right path and what God actually has is not the same, right? And sometimes you come to terms with that later, right? When the moment comes where you're thinking, okay, now it's time for this to happen, and it doesn't, that's disappointing, right? But that does not mean that God isn't good, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that God has left, right? God is still there, right? And that there's lessons in disappointment, because it isn't, if it is in disappointment that we once again refocus our faith on the Lord, right? To say, like, oh, okay, you know, I was starting to, like, I was like, okay, God, I got the plan, right? We've been on the same, you know, wavelength, right?
Yeah.
But now I'm getting kind of off, and I'm thinking, okay, I got this. Let me take the wheel back. God lets you. Right, and you end up in a place where you're disappointed again, and it's like, that's not because God's mad or God hates you or whatever. It's that he is just reminding you where your faith comes from, right? Or what your faith needs to be put in, right? And where your hope comes from. And I think from there, like, disappointment is inescapable. Yeah. But that does not mean, right, that we have to be suffering through it, right? That there's joy to say, okay, yeah, I am sad about that. Like, I'm gonna feel that, right? I'm sad. I have to grieve through this. Yeah. But then we can remind ourselves, well, that disappointment it has nothing to do with, you know, me, right? And that, you know, I'm flawed, because we are flawed, but that I'm a failed person, right? I'm a failure, right? Because that's not who God says we are, right? But it is to say, like, okay, that just means I got to re-put my focus back on him. And so that was the second kind of truth. And
you mind if I say something real quick?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, because I am talking a lot.
No, you're good. You just saying it about disappointment just kind of sparked a thought. Like, either you can die in disappointment or die in disappointment. And what I mean by that is you can die and stay there and just, like, let disappointment rule you, or you can die in that disappointment and allow it to birth something new. So in terms of, yes, this disappointment sucks. Both choices start with death, but the other one ends with it. The other one starts a new beginning, and your new beginning could be, you know, you having a newfound faith, or you trying to place your faith where it should have been in the first place. Because, like, a lot of times, disappointment, I feel like, is simply just unmet expectations. And anytime you hope for anything, you run the risk of having unmet expectations. But like you said, like, God is that perfect Father that, even though we have unmet expectations, his expectations and his plan is way better than anything we could fathom or even imagine. Yeah. So it's just like, sometimes we have to navigate through those things to get to that point of realization. But I think sometimes it kind of fallbacks on us. It's like, are you going to die in that disappointment, or are you going to die and then let it birth something new?
Yeah. Kind of like, I got another alliteration.
Uh-oh.
Basically, are you going to let disappointment derail you or detour you? You know what I'm saying?
Nay on that.
No, I mean that's good though. Are you gonna let it derail you, where it's like, I'm done, right? There is no point of continuing, or are you gonna let it detour you to say like, oh, okay, there's a roadblock here.
Yeah.
We're gonna find a different way to get around, right? And the destination may change in that detour, where it's like, okay, I thought this is a spot I was supposed to end up, but now because of this detour, I'm seeing this is actually a better spot, right? But you can let it be a detour, not a derail, right? Because disappointment, all that is a roadblock. And so we have to remind ourselves of that, right? That it's not the be all end all, right? But in the moment, of course, when you see it and that's all you feel, it's like, this is it, right? And I think that was kind of the third lesson that I had to learn, right? Which is the lie, I guess I believed, is that my emotions determined reality, right? And that's not to say that emotions are not important, right? And that's not to say that like we should not our emotions should not have a say, right, in how we feel or how we are viewing a situation, right? But they are not the Lord, right? They are not the be all end all, right? Because there are times, right, when what I'm feeling, right, is in total contradiction with reality, right? Like I feel like not doing this homework assignment, right?
That's real.
But reality says if I don't do this homework assignment, I'm not gonna pass this class, right? And the actual goal I want to reach, right? Because no matter what I'm feeling is like I don't feel like doing it. I want to rest, right? But if I pass the class, get the job, whatever, right? That rest is way better, right, than working, a job.
Catch up.
Yeah, they're playing catch up, or having to work to get to a point, that you could have been at way earlier if you had just put in that work earlier. You know what I'm saying? And so like not letting your emotions determine reality, right? Your emotions have value, right? There's two sides of the spectrum, where you have the nonchalant kind of like, I don't care about anything side, right? But you shouldn't be on the follow your heart, how you feel is what you should do side either, right? There is a middle ground right there. There's a balanced perspective in that, because if your emotions determine your reality, right, when things circumstantially happen that are not great, your reality will look like hell, right? Because it'll be like, man, this didn't go right, this didn't go right, this didn't go right. I feel this way right now. Like I feel hopeless, I feel all that. This is hell, right? This is literally like there is no hope. There is nothing, because that's how I feel, right? But like we have to remember the truth, right? The pragmatic truth, right? The truth that we find in the Word, and the truth that just like, man, yeah, you didn't get an internship this summer, but what, you got 2 more summers, and you got your whole life to work, right? So like it's gonna be okay, right? Yeah, right. This relationship didn't work out, right? But like, you're gonna be all right?
You better be watching.
It's just one situation. This does not mean that you're undateable and that you're a horrible person. Like, these are the lies you'll start to tell yourself.
She got 1 year,
right?
bro. She got 1 year. Whoever she is, she got 1 year, bro. If she don't pull up, I'm going to find her. And we're going to have a talk.
Appreciate it, Bryson. But I mean, no, that's real, though. It's like, man, it's not. It is deep, right? But it's not as deep as you are making it to be, right? And we have to, in those moments where we feel our emotions trying to take over, say like, you are not the Lord, right, of my life, right? God is the Lord of my life, right? And so we're going to view my emotions in the lens of the kingdom, right? And say like, yes, I may feel this way. I might feel hopeless. I might feel like God has left me. I might feel like, the dreams that I have are dead. Right? That I can't go out and accomplish the things that I want to go out and accomplish. But that's not what it says. It says, seek first the kingdom of righteousness, all these things will be added unto you. With man, these things are impossible. With God, all things are possible. Like, reminding yourselves of those things, it's like, okay, yes, I feel this way, but that's not going to determine how I move. Right? Because my emotions are not my reality.
No, that's real. I once heard that in a podcast. Emotions shouldn't be our drivers. They're simply just emotions. Like they let us know how we feel. They don't tell us what's real. I ain't never said that before.
That's a bar though. They tell us how we feel. What'd you say? Say it one more time.
Emotions tell us how they feel. They don't tell us what's real.
That's good. That's good, bro. That's a bar right there. No, but hey, and I would say like with all of that, right? And this is kind of like
they don't always tell us what's real.
Yeah,
they don't always tell us what's real.
I mean, sometimes like when if somebody break up with you, like you feel sad, like like you're sad.
Let me say that again, so
Yeah.
like I don't get clipped.
Right.
Emotions tell us how we feel. They don't all. God,
Come on,
bro.
it's good. All right, I'm gonna cut it.
Emotions tell us. Emotions tell us how we feel. They don't always tell us what's real. I said that the first time.
Yeah.
No,
No, that's
definitely
good.
didn't like.
No,
say
bro,
that
it's
2
good,
other times.
right? Because when we put it in Opus, it's gonna be fine anyway, no matter what. Shout out Opus AI clips.
Yeah.
But anyways, say that to say, I think even I am blessed that like COVID was kind of like a similar season to what this has been, right? Where it was just a lot of things happened that were disappointing, internalized them. But I can see that the growth that happened because COVID was like a year and a half of me getting out of the rut. Right, this was a month of me getting out of that rut. Because by July, started to really kind of understand those, and I don't even think it was something like it took me a month, right? And that's a bad thing, right? I think you're not gonna. Like emotions happen, right? You're gonna feel a certain way no matter what, right? And it's tough, right? And I was talking to Pastor Brandon, shout out PB, man,
Peanut butter.
about just like, that common phrase, it's not a religion, it's a relationship. And he was talking about like sometimes, right, when you don't feel that relationship, right? Falling back, because all religion means is just like ritual, like ritualistic practice, right?
Yep.
Doing things like, even throughout all that time, I always read my word, doing things like I always had a morning routine I practiced, doing things like, still trying to learn, still trying to grow, reading, engaging in hobbies, doing stuff like that, right? Having conversations with my family, right? About how I was feeling, right? Not in just doing fun things, right? Not all of it had to be spiritual, right? Just making beats, stuff like that, right? The practice of doing all of those things, even when emotionally I wasn't feeling the relationship, kind of like, God, where are you, right? I'm not feeling this. Those practices, man, they were uber important for helping to rekindle that relationship, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's a both and, not a either or, right? Because practicing those, quote unquote rituals, right, is what played a huge part of helping me get out of the rut, right? Because once again, I didn't feel, right, God, I didn't feel like close to, I didn't feel all those things, right?
Yeah.
And if I'd have just relied on feelings and no truth, right, who know where I'd be at, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's because I relied on those truths, right?
On crack.
And yeah, maybe on crack. Hopefully not. But it's because I relied on those truths, right? That it was like, okay, even though I don't feel this way, I'm gonna continue to, do things like, what Philippians 8 said, think on what is, true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable, excellent, worthy of praise. All these things, right? Right. Thinking on those things, right? Once again, putting together just good habits to practice, whether it's, doing morning, breathing exercises and meditation, and whether it was, practicing eating healthy, whether it was working out, things like that. Doing those things, right, and that practice helped me move forward, right? That like, even though it's like right now, I feel like confessing the scripture over my life is doing nothing. I feel like practicing this morning routine is doing nothing. I feel like, still trying to hang out with friends and put myself out there, even when I'd rather just curl up in the ball and cry, right? I feel like that's doing nothing. I don't feel better. But when that epiphany moment happens, man, it was just like, it's like that, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I get it. I get, what my mama was saying when we had that conversation 2-3 weeks ago about the fact that like I just have to trust Lord, that the Lord is going to prevail, right? That the Lord is going to bring good out of this. I can. I get what my pops was saying when he was telling me to have an open hand, to be generous, right? Because God is able to bless, and that you can live life with so much more contentment and, you know, joy when you are being, like, I'm getting these things, right? And I'm learning how to think thoughts that are pure, lovely, commit, like all those things that I was like, man, I'm saying this, I'm doing it, man, nothing's happening. I'm seeing it now, right? And like, I see the fact that, like, man, like I tell people, I've told people multiple times, like, looking at the beginning of the summer, it was crazy. I was like, there's no way I'm going to make any money. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this, that, or the third, right? I come out this summer, I've made more money than I did last summer, right? Which is crazy because I didn't have a job. I was a manager last summer at a camp.
He got
right?
managerial skills, ladies.
And managerial money, right? Which is the bigger thing, right? And I still came out with this summer making more money, right? I took a summer class. If I'd had a full-time job or anything like that, I would have not been able to take that summer class. Sir. Because with contracting work, the blessing of doing that is you can do that whenever you have time, right? And you don't have to do it in these massive blocks, right? You can do 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, right? And you can still get all your work done, right? I got more time with my family, right, to spend time with them, right, getting to just pour into my sister, right? I got more time with friends, getting to pour into them, right, and to love on them and to hang out with them and rekindle some of those relationships. And final shout out Pastor Wayne, Pastor W mentor.
Not Little Wayne, but Pastor Wayne.
Pastor Wayne, Big Wayne, man.
Big Wayne.
The biggest, the biggest Wayne, you know, not no Lil Wayne, the biggest Wayne.
The biggest Wayne.
But seriously, shout out Pastor Wayne, because he was able to mentor me. We had lunch every, week or so, right? And him getting to pour into me and just pour those truths, right, encourage me and build me up, right, that would prepare me for this school year, right? And if I'd have got to study abroad, or if I had an internship, I wouldn't have been able to do that, right? And who knows, like, there's conversations I got to have with friends, right, about faith that I wouldn't have gotten to have if I'd have been in Spain, if it had gone my way, right, and the way that I thought it was supposed to happen, right? There are things that I got to do, right, that I have, could have taken for granted, right? That now, because of how the summer went, I'm seeing like, wow, Lord, these are blessings, right? And these things are so important, right? That I would have missed out on had it gone my way, right? And so just learning that like truly God's way takes the cake. It is better than what you think is going to turn out. And so like, when it comes back to that moment of disappointment, right? And you're wondering, should I let this derail me and say I'm giving up? Or should I let this just be a detour? Reminding yourself of the truth that like this detour is going to be the best detour I could have ever taken, right? Because there's going to be a new destination that I wasn't even expecting to see than I now get to see.
If it was my motion, I would have missed what I truly wanted.
You'd have missed out on the ocean. But now there's motion.
Too much motion in the ocean to be worried about the commotion. Feel me? But no, that's good though, bro.
Yeah.
I think you really just let that bar go over your head.
No, that was good, bro. I'm right with that. That's a good bar, bro. To be worried about
You know what, women? Wherever I said earlier, I take it back. Leave him alone. He needs some more development.
I'm legitimately, you know what I'm saying? I'm not hating, bro. I really rock with that, bro. That was a good bar, bro, for real.
Nah, but bro, speaking on like that first lie that you talked about in terms of, success compared to your friends, right? Yeah. Funny enough, listening to freaking Nick Cannon, Lecrae, and Kirk Franklin and the other lady, Courtney, play spades, I got a bar. Lecrae said success is not what I do compared to everyone else, but success is compared to who God made me to be. And I think a lot of times in our culture, we try to equate our success to, am I doing better in class than DJ? Yeah. Do I have more accolades than Bob? Am I making more money than Susan? Whatever the case may be, right? But really what true success is God. Am I doing what you've called me to do? Yeah. Am I walking in the purpose that you've called me to walk in? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we look back on your summer, like worldly, somebody may be like, dang, bro, you missed out on a year of internship.
Yeah.
But you just listed out 5 things that you got to do that were truly blessed. And, I believe we're like God oriented, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, when we look at it from a spiritual lens of success is this thing of me comparing and looking back to what God called me to be.
Yeah.
I think it allows us to walk through life a lot more freeing because when we compare to others, especially horizontally, we're boxing ourselves in. Because if I'm comparing on this side, that's a wall I got to get through. If I'm comparing to somebody in front of me, that's a wall I got to get through. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
I build these walls of comparison around me and know I'm stagnant. I can no longer move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like, you got to think about it, bro. If I'm just comparing to who God called me to be, there's no walls around me.
Yeah.
Because God called me to be me. He called me to be his son. He
Right.
called me to do these things in my life, right? And if I'm just walking out in who he made me to be, there's no box because I'm walking in the freedom of God.
Yeah. Comparison is like driving a car with no windows. Yeah.
All the
Amen.
bugs get in.
Yeah. No, I mean, cause like for real, like when you are comparing, right, you're looking at what she doing, what he doing, right? And that becomes your definition of success, right?
Yeah.
It's just, we got to do what she doing or do it better, right? And you're just looking at that wall. You're not looking out the window, right? It obstructs your field of vision where you're not even like able to see that like, whoa, there's something like way over there, right? That is way cooler than what they doing, right? That it's cool because it's you, right? But I can't even see that, right? Because I'm so focused on what they got going on, right? That I'm missing out, like, on seeing what God has, right?
Yeah.
Because my vision is completely obstructed, right? And I think, like, a life of joy is a life where your emotions, or not even your emotions, right? But where your outlook is independent of circumstance.
Yeah.
You know, like, because even looking now, like, circumstantially, things haven't changed a whole lot. I'm still single. I still, got a lot of money to save. You know what I'm saying? I'm still like those things, right? Like circumstantially, right? I could still be pretty upset, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, actually, I'm not gonna say what I was about to say. I'm about to like really, but I'm trying to keep my job. So, anyways,
Lord, this man.
No, they were taxing on the hun. Never mind. Anyways, like, what's the point?
I know what you're talking. Don't worry about it. This man.
But what's important is like circumstantially, things have not shifted a whole bunch, right? And so I could sit there and I could complain and I could look at, man, things aren't where I want them to be, right? But now I'm content and where they are, and I know that at some point they're going to be where it's supposed to be, right? And I can take confidence in that, right? And encourage, right? I could focus that I had to be here 2 weeks early for training, right? Or I could focus on the fact that, like, because I was there for training, I got to be on MSU's radio station, right?
Yeah,
and that, Dr. D. Allard, shout out her, shout out to a legend for real, bro, that she recommended me, right? That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So I could focus on, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Or I could focus on the fact that, like, man, because of that, there's opportunity that opened up, right? There's connection that opened up, right? And so it's just like a life of joy is a life where your outlook is independent of circumstance, right? And that is a life that you want to live, right? Because even if things are going great, right, your outlook's the same, right? And you're not getting puffed up, right? If things are going terribly, your outlook is the same, and you're recognizing that no matter what, in the good and in the bad, one thing is remaining true, and that is the Lord's faithfulness.
So I don't have time to find a quote because you stopped talking pretty quickly.
My bad.
There, brother. You set me up. You did that on purpose.
I was setting you up
No,
for
bro, you
the
did
home run.
You did that on purpose.
Because you opened the book, I'm thinking, oh, you about to cook.
What
so
you think about the cooking?
All right, my bad. My fault.
From
My
Texas,
fault.
my name DJ. All
fault.
right, yeah, but but in that book, Lecrae wrote, it's I'm restored, how I lost my religion but found my faith.
Yeah.
Great book, talks about, his journey throughout spirituality, how he deconstructed and then rebuilt his faith, all of those things, right? And something that he talked about was, man, I really wish I had the quote, but you just had to.
You can find the quote, man.
It's okay, bro. It's okay.
My fault.
No, you good, bro.
I really would have kept talking. I didn't want to, like, You know, you sitting there with the book open and.
No, I'm just messing with you, fam. But on some real stuff though, he said something like, I may not like where I am, but I can trust God because he's still there with me, and I can be thankful. So like, I can be real with the fact that I don't like what I'm doing in life. I don't like where I am. I don't like the situation around me, but I can still find joy in the fact that God is still there with me.
Yeah.
And like being able to hear that really helped me, because I know for sure, like, I've definitely allowed my emotions to drive me at certain times.
Yeah.
But like hearing somebody articulate it to where they say like, yo, I'm not happy with where I am in life. I'm not happy with the way I'm feeling, but God is still there with me.
Yeah.
So I can walk through this with the different mindset of, yes, I may be in a bad mood, but I can shift my perspective and focus on the Lord despite what is happening around me. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
No, that's a bar.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you couldn't get it from the book, but hey, I think you did. You did that.
Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna say it again another episode.
Yeah. Hey, bro. See, I'm really setting you up for a better detour to a better destination, right? No, but that's all powerful. Hey, man. One, I gotta pee, and two, I got a cookout to be at too. So we're gonna.
It is Labor Day, isn't it?
We are going. Yeah, it is Labor Day. Happy Labor. Well, y'all won't see this episode on Labor Day, but it is Labor Day for us. Hope y'all all had a good Labor Day. But man, that was fire. Awesome sauce. As always, man. Appreciate you for sharing, Bryson. And
thank you for showing up today, man. Nice to have you on the podcast.
Dude, appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah. I think we should do this again sometime.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know,
maybe keep this going.
Yeah, for real. Because I didn't tell you this, but if you didn't show up, I wouldn't have had like any audio.
That's true.
Yeah. I would have just like been trying to yell to the phone, you know. So thank you for showing up. So.
The equipment is in my room. That is true. That is. Well, hey, here, glad we could help. Glad I could be here for that. Oh, and for sure. But anyways, no, man. Well, of course, y'all know the things. I'm not gonna repeat it all, but yeah, subscribe, follow, do all the things, man. Please, like I saw the stats was like 98% of y'all are watching, but you're not subscribing. So what's going on with that? Just subscribe. Just hit it, bro. Like come on, please. Anyways, yeah, if y'all could do that for us, we appreciate it, man. But of course, man, excited for the season. Excited for if you want to be a guest on the podcast, please fill out the guest form. It's in the link tree as well. Yes, thank you, Bryson. Because we really want to hear y'all's stories, man. And I'm a firm believer that wisdom can come out of any conversation. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. You got anything else to say, Bryson? Well, thank you for that. Well, you know how it goes. Bryson, end it off for us.
Y'all be blessed. Don't stress. Do less and let God take care of the rest. We out.
We are out.
Yeah, I need a bag. Como se dice? I make a banger that got it on replay. Why they talking about he say, she say? Probably gon' slide in there, yeah, on the freeway. I make a bag and I blow it, no cheesecake. Then I gon' sell everything.